don't hear any music.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Word Up Wednesday. This is the first of a new initiative that we've started as a ministry, doing these Wednesday evening broadcasts. And today's actually the leadership table, and it's all about leadership. I'm very blessed. We are very blessed to be joined by my lovely wife, Laura. You can say hello, Laura.
Hello.
And also my dear friends, Paul and Wynell Cowdery.
Hey guys, good evening.
Nice to see you all.
So we're really excited about these new broadcasts that we're beginning. Today is about leadership, and you might be thinking, well, I'm not a leader, but I want you to know this. Every one of you is a leader. We're all called to lead, and I love what John Maxwell, the leadership guru, says. He says, leadership is influence, and we all have influence. We're all leading in one area of our life or another. It may be in our family home, maybe in our workplace, in our community, and perhaps the most difficult person of all to lead, that we all need to lead well, is ourselves. Now, tonight is leadership table. So each month we're going to be taking a different leadership topic and discussing it as a group. But we're also going to be having a variety. So actually, this is going to be running every Wednesday. We're going to be broadcasting something. Why now? Do you want to share a little bit with everyone about what the other Wednesdays are going to look like as well?
Absolutely. So it'll be on a rotation. So for example, next week it will be Gateway Conversations with yourself. And perhaps you might explain just quickly what that'll be about in just a minute, Daniel. Then after that, it'll be Real Talk with both Pastor Daniels and Laura. And then it'll be Missional Lifestyle with Paul and myself. And then we'll come back to Leadership Table. So I think some of them are all clear. Maybe Gateway Conversations. What are you going to be doing with that, Daniel?
So Gateway Conversations, if you think, like, what is a gateway? A gateway is a point of entry. You know, if you think about going into Buckingham Palace, or sometimes going into a different city, a different location, a prestige building, there's normally a gateway that you have to go through to kind of get you into that new place. So a gateway is a transition point, and often a gateway can open up a whole new world. It might be, leaving one place and kind of going out of the gateway to kind of enjoy that wider horizons, or it might actually be going into something like a royal palace to see the many blessings that are there. So Gateway Conversations is going to be having lots of different influential guests, speakers, people that have lots of wisdom. So I'm going to be interviewing a variety of different people. That's going to be really exciting. Laura, do you want to share a little bit about what was the idea around Real Talk that we're going to be doing once a month?
Yeah, I think for us it was just that there are some real subjects we want to talk about and be really vulnerable and really real and honest with people, because we know that sometimes as leaders, people look up to you and they think that you don't go through the same things as they go through and that you're kind of immune to those things. But it's just an opportunity for us to be real and to be honest and to maybe talk about those things that I guess some people shy away from, and they aren't that vulnerable.
Definitely. And so, we'd also love to hear, like, what do you want to hear from us? What are those things that maybe you want to have a bit of insight into? How do you guys go about parenting? How do you guys manage conflict? How do you face, the difficult storms, in life? We want to be real. We want to pull back the layers, and we want to just be able to share with you guys a bit more about our lives. Paul, do you want to share a little bit about what missional lifestyle is going to be like with what you and Wynell are going to share?
Yeah, missional lifestyle is living with Wynell. No, that's a joke. That's a joke. Missional lifestyle. We're going to talk about some of the things that we have done in the past, how God has led us through different paths in our travels around the world, but also living a missional lifestyle here. You know, every day is a mission. When we're out and about, you're on mission. You know, you're not just out to suck in the air and do your shopping. You're out there on a mission, and every opportunity that we get, we need to use to evangelize and be missional in every moment that we can.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Well, we're really looking forward to you guys sharing some insight. Well, you know, if people want to subscribe, why now? If they want to kind of track with what we're going to be doing, because it will be different each week. So leadership, this will be a once a month. The missional lifestyle will be once a month. The real talk conversations once a month, and gateway conversations will be once a month. If people want to subscribe, track with us, how would they best go about that?
So the best thing is, I don't know how many noticed tonight, but we will be creating an event every week, and it will be coming up on Facebook as well as YouTube. And it's so easy. When you see the event pop up, underneath it, you can actually set a reminder for yourself, and it will actually tell you when we're about to go live. And we had one set for tonight, and that's, I think several probably discovered it there. But also what we will be doing is when we put the event up, we'll be listing the title of what that week will be, so that people will be able to stay on track with us. But I think that's the easiest way, to just set yourself those reminders when you see it pop up, and that way they can keep up with it. But nothing to sign up, just come and watch us live. And if they do miss it, we do want you to know, make sure you tell your friends that it'll be live, available on demand on YouTube afterwards.
Brilliant. That's great. It's really good to see that people have been subscribing to the CLC TV Global YouTube channel. Great to see new people liking the City Life Church Portsmouth Facebook page and Instagram and all those other places as well. They're great places that you can stay in the loop of what is going on. Well, we're going to jump in. I'm loving seeing all these different comments and seeing people interacting behind the scenes, and be encouraged, like, share this with other people. You can simply share the broadcast, and it's just a great way of connecting with so many more people. Well, we're going to jump in to this evening, and tonight we're looking at this whole topic of how do we navigate the new. You know, all of us are in the same boat in that we've faced many changes since COVID-19, since all of this pandemic that we have been battling, that we've been fighting together as humanity. And so we thought it would be really good that, as this is a common challenge that we're all facing, it would be good to say, well, how do we actually navigate into the new? How do we do that successfully? Because, you know, changes, you know, are on the horizon. Changes have taken place, but more changes coming as well. So who wants to pitch in with just maybe sharing some thoughts about how can we successfully navigate into the new?
Why is everyone looking at me?
Go for
it. You can kick us off.
You know, there are so many. I know for a lot of people, what we're going through and what we've been through and what is still to come is a real challenge. But you know, in the way our lifestyle. But you know, we need to look at things with some excitement, because what has happened is, because of this lockdown that we've been in, we have had to come up with other ideas of how we can reach people, how we can be more missional, getting back to the missional statement. And, you know, there is change on the way. And today I've been in various meetings. One was with his CAP, you know, Christians Against Poverty this afternoon. And we were talking about how they've had to change their style, but they are reaching more people than they used to before. And it's just looking out and seeing how we do things differently, how we're going to come through this stage. And I believe we are going to come through. God is going to bring us through this stronger than ever before. And I really believe that revival is on the way. Many revivals are breaking out in different parts of the world already, even though there is lockdown virtually across the world. We just have to strategize. We have to be strong and go with the new and believe that God is going to do something great.
Brilliant. I love your positive optimism, Paul. And sometimes with change is not always easier. You mentioned about CAP, and I know that they've had a major change at senior level with a transition that's going on there. But change is not always easy, is it? So how do you best go about embracing change, even though it can be uncomfortable?
How do I face change?
Yeah, how do you kind of, because obviously you're very optimistic, but it's obviously is difficult at times. Sometimes it's painful, sometimes it hurts. What are your coping mechanisms that kind of help?
I just thank the Lord every day I'm still alive and breathing. But no, answering your question. There are days, Daniel, when I get up and start to move around and start to do things, and I think, things that you have to do, and there are lots of changes, but it's your mindset. If you tell yourself, man, there's no way I can cope with this, there's no way this is ever going to happen, it won't happen. Okay. That's a great thing. We're living with Wynell. She's a go-getter. She's a go-doer. The word cannot or can't does not exist in our home. Okay. Because you can. You just have to find a way to do it. And I know people say to me, well, you're okay, you're older, you haven't got any kids. I understand. But there are other areas of our life that we have to deal with and contend with. And I think it's a positive. And I'm sorry if I'm saying this again, because I said it just recently, but most people are ruined between the bedroom and the bathroom. When we get up in the morning, we go, oh my goodness, not another day. Oh my God, right? Instead of getting up and saying, good God, it's morning, thank God I'm alive. And I'm gonna take these challenges. I'm gonna take this change that's coming to my life, and I'm gonna grab it 100%, and I'm gonna make it happen. And I do appreciate there are people. Please, folks, don't misunderstand me. I know there are people that are unwell at this time for various reasons, and this COVID has made some people feel ill one day and feel okay the next or whatever. I've been through it myself, not with COVID, but I have been. Mynell will tell you, and I don't mind sharing this. There was one night I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I could not stop shaking. I just could not stop shaking. I don't know what it was, just something that hit me for about 40 minutes, and it was awful. But instead of getting all down the next morning when I got up, I just said to myself, Paul, just take a rest today, rebuild your batteries, recharge yourself, and just face things. And I did. And there's lots of changes that we have to make. And I think it's how we as individuals approach them. And if we approach things positively and with God moving with us and letting Jesus be on the inside and come out, everything turns out.
Love that, Paul. Absolutely love that. And you're obviously highlighting here about the power of gratitude, because we've got so much to be grateful for. I think so many times we focus on what we don't have, what's going wrong in the world, rather than actually counting our blessings. Laura, I know that gratitude is something that you're really big on. You've spoken about in church. You've posted about on social media as well. You want to just share a little bit more on that, kind of how you leverage gratitude and thankfulness? Like, what does that look like in your life, and what difference does it make for you?
Yeah, I think that it's really important to me, but I try and practice it daily. So I even have a journal where I write down things. I've got an app now where you can put it in on the app. You can put the things in you're grateful for, and I just think we've said this before, it's an atmosphere shifter. So if I'm I do it daily anyway, but then if I'm having a day where, like we all do, where we feel a bit low, where we just feel a bit, especially in this season, where we feel like, oh gosh, like, can we really take any more of this? Like, I miss my friends, I miss my family. And then remember, like, I remind myself all the things that I'm grateful for. And when people say they don't have anything to be grateful for, I mean, I just think they're not thinking hard enough, because we all have things to be grateful for. We're grateful when we pray in the morning. I'm grateful for a new day. I'm grateful that God has given me a new opportunity to make good, wise decisions, to listen to Him. Even when we're just in the house, it's an opportunity to listen to the Holy Spirit, to just be around my family. But there are so many things, and I just think that it takes you to a whole different place. Like, in a second, you can shift the way you feel from one mood to another.
And the reality is that we cannot ever be grateful, practicing gratitude and fearful at the same time. The moment you start shifting into that gratitude, thankfulness, appreciation mode, then it disempowers fear. You know, it fills your body just with that positivity that does make a significant change. So these are practical things straight away. One of the things, what can you do to help you navigate, you know, in this season into the new? Practice gratitude. And I love what Paul said as well about, you know, getting your mindset right, because, you know, our thoughts are so important. Yeah. Sometimes we have to take authority over our thoughts and really direct them into the right place, because sometimes it can be a bit of a runaway train. Yeah. Right now, share with us a little bit about your thoughts. Or Paul, were you wanting to add something else in there?
Yeah, I just wanted to just pick something up. Louise Menzies put up something which I totally concur with, Louise, when she says that when you are on your own and you don't have anyone to encourage you, that's when she says here, it's a lot easier to be positive when you have someone by your side to encourage you or lift you up when you're down.
Yeah,
totally agree, Louise. However, now with technology, okay, I'm looking at Daniel and Laura tonight, and you know, there are people that I talk to and work with during the week that are lonely and down. But what we do is we have a plan to call each other at set times, so that I can encourage them and talk with them. I don't even talk with, not always in England. I was talking with somebody this week, 2 days ago in Colombia, and he's at home, he's lonely, and he wanted to talk. And sometimes we just have to just think a little bit out of the box. I do understand that when somebody is present in your home, it is different. However, totally different. You know, you've got somebody you can talk to and whatever. However, what I want to encourage some of you to do is use technology. We have phones, we have WhatsApp, we have all the different things that we can use. Find someone that you can talk to, even if it's just for 10 or 15 minutes, and pray with each other. You know, sometimes there's power in prayer, and you can uplift someone with prayer. I was praying with someone, and I prayed in strong. By the time we finished, completely different. That's not bragging on me. They just needed that kind of uplift, and you know, we'll connect again tomorrow. And I just wanted to encourage you to do that, Louise, and other people that feel that you are lonely. Find someone wholesome that you can connect with by communicating.
Love that, Paul. And you know, sometimes we've just got to be humble enough to reach out and say, "Hey, I'm struggling."
Yeah.
You know, I think sometimes, you know, we think that other people know that we're struggling, and they don't. They have no clue. People with busy lives and stuff going on. Yeah. But just by reaching out and saying, "Hey, I'm struggling. Can you pray for me?" You know, that can make a big difference. The other thing that I've practiced as well is, you know, during this season, I'm sure you guys can relate to this as well. I'm sure everyone that's watching this podcast can relate. We've all had times that we feel like giving up, right?
Absolutely.
Times we're like, you know what? Why don't I just go and stack shelves in Asda? Or, you know,
Yes.
No different to those who work in Asda. You know, I'm a believer that all jobs are great jobs, that, you know, part of our ministry. But why don't you just do something that's a lot easier without all the hassle and the stress and the pressure, and so when I feel discouraged, this is what I do. I find 3 other people and I intentionally encourage them. And here's what I found is that you will always reap what you sow.
Yeah.
When I feel like giving up, I tell 3 people, don't give up. Yeah. Keep going. And just by sowing that encouragement, it's an amazing way how that blessing boomerangs back to us, and we find ourselves strengthened in the Lord. Why now? Give us some insight about how you would advise us to navigate the new successfully.
Well, I think, agreed. I know that sometimes leaders look like they have it all together all the time. And, oh yeah, man, we never have any problems. We never go through struggles, but it's just so not true. I know lots of times Laura and I encourage each other. There's days where we feel absolutely rubbish and we check with each other. How are you doing? And it's just a case of we still have to continue to tell ourselves we have to rise above that. I know I say that a lot, and I know Daniel and Paul and I are always talking about we have to push ourselves, but it is true. It's a daily thing that we have to push ourselves. I wouldn't say I felt great every day. I mean, last weekend I was completely almost disabled with a migraine for 2 days. It's horrible and it hurts, and you just want to, you can't really get out and go out and do much. And so, you just feel sometimes almost like a prisoner, and then you just have to sort of shake yourself and remind yourself this too shall pass. And so I just want to encourage everyone out there. It's not that we have it all together. It's just that, we just put that smile on and we tell ourselves we can make it. We will pull through this. I know. I just wanted to quickly say, I've been hearing lots of testimonies because we've been doing this Discover group on Mondays. And I know you may find this quite funny, but I think it's so lighthearted that it is just a fun way. Not everybody's going to do this, but Sharon Wallen shared a couple of great testimonies about how that just her and a couple of ladies were out at Baffin's Pond, and, they were talking to each other. Suddenly, she just started laughing, and she will tell you that she starts to snort when she laughs. And the next thing she knew, everybody in the group was laughing. And then people, when they were walking by, she said they were looking at them like they were crazy. And then some of them actually broke out into laughter with her. And what I loved about it is she just said, I just love spreading joy. And I know there's days that she also feels very lonely and down. So, of course, I'm not saying everybody's going to do that, but I just think there's so many different ways that you can get out and bring joy and laughter and just, do fun things and remind yourself you're not the only one. Loads of people struggling, but we do need to stay accountable to each other. And I do want to encourage people that you do need to reach out. We are not mind readers, so we don't know when you are having a bad day. So you need to tell us so that we can find someone that can connect with you.
Yeah, you've just got to push through. That's a good comment from Bethany. You've just got to push through until something happens. I often think about the lady in the Bible that had the issue with blood. Okay, what did she do? She pushed. And if you use the word push as an acronym, push until something happens. And if she had not pushed through the crowd to touch the hem of his garment, nothing would have happened. But she pushed through. And I think some days we just have to say to ourselves, you know what, whatever happens, I'm going to push through on this. And when you come out the other side, joy is always waiting for you. There's always something good is going to happen.
So good, Paul. And, sometimes life's not easy, is it? Sometimes it is tough. It's a challenge. There's stresses and pressures. And, life's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows. And sometimes it's like, we've just kind of got to pull ourselves up by the bootstrap and And, you know, as it says about Jesus, he set his face like a flint. You know, he went to the cross, and we see this endurance, we see this tenacity. And we're actually, I remember saying this with someone, you know, just today, you're stronger than you realize. I want every one of you watching this broadcast to know you are stronger than you realize.
Yeah.
And actually, it's in those times where we feel, you know, in struggle, in turmoil, that actually that's where we have an opportunity to grow the most. You know, you think about a seed, you know, it's covered in dirt, it's immersed in darkness and pressure, you know, and it gets saturated and, you know, almost feels like it's drowning in the water.
Yeah.
But actually that seed will never fulfill its potential. And then of course it has to break. In order to bring new life, it has to break. All of these negative kind of analogies here, we have to go through that sometimes, the dirt, the darkness, the pressure, the breaking, because actually all it will do is it will unearth the great potential that's within us. And this is why, just linking it in with what Paul said, mindset matters. You know, you can either think and describe it, I'm being buried, or you can reframe it and say, no, I'm planted. And I'm going to push up through whatever comes against me, because I'm going to bloom, I'm going to blossom, I'm going to bear much fruit. And I do believe that in this time, you know, we're going to bear much fruit. And one of the fruits of the Spirit, joy. We can use laughter. Sometimes we've enjoyed watching comedies. We've been a bit down. You know, just putting on. A merry heart does good like medicine. These are other things that we can do to help us to navigate into the new, to navigate through some difficult circumstances. Laura, do you want to share a little bit more about your thoughts on navigating the new?
Yeah, I think I spent probably the first half, more than the first half of like the whole year of lockdown on and off, probably questioning what's the next season going to look like what does God have for us, like even little things to do with like worship, what's that going to be like when we come back, what is church going to be like. And halfway through I felt like God stopped me and say to me that number one, he wasn't ready to reveal all that yet, and number two, like I'm not supposed to know everything. I'm just supposed to like be present in the moment. So I think lately I've really tried really hard to be present in my current season and not kind of grow to hate it, because it's hard for all of us. And I mean, I know there are people who are going out to work, but there are those of us who are at home, and both are difficult because there are challenges on both sides. But I think I got to the point where I was frustrated with being in all the time, and we weren't seeing friends and family, and we homeschool our kids. So I'm with my children like 24/7 with no break at the moment. And one else had a few conversations from me to do with that, where I've just been at the end of myself thinking, oh gosh, like I've had no break. I've not been able to go anywhere. We haven't had a date for like probably like 9 months, 10 months, like everybody else. But I think that sometimes we can't enter our new season until we finish the one we're in. And if we're constantly we should look ahead, and we should have a plan, and we should know where we're going and where we're heading to. But if we're constantly hating the season we're in, I think that sometimes God can't be finished with what he wants to do in this season. So I've really tried to be present and think, what is it that God wants me to be in this season? And if it's just a wife and a mother, and those are my two most important things at the moment, to educate my kids and to be there for them, because I mean the kids are going through some emotional stuff too, all of the children, with all the ups and downs of the ones that are in school, the ones that are out of school, they're going through an emotional time too. So my job is to be home and to make our home safe and feel a lovely place for them to be, and for them to meet their emotional needs. So I think to just be present, and I know we're talking about future and next season, but sometimes I think it's important to understand the season that you're in. Well, it always is, but and to be present in it, and to make sure you finish and listen to the Holy Spirit and do what it is that he's telling you to do in that season.
Brilliant. Some great insight there. Well, our time has come to a close already. Like, where did the time go? It just seemed to zip by. Obviously, we did have a little bit of an introduction tonight, just, you know, letting you know about what's going to be happening. So next Wednesday, we will be back and we're going to be having Gateway Conversations. Is that correct, Why Now?
That's correct.
So Gateway Conversations is going to be next Wednesday. And so do tune in at 8 o'clock. You know, we'd love to have you join us. And also, you know, just in closing, we'd love to hear. Obviously, we've just had a little bit of a snapshot. I've got loads more notes, you know, that I wanted to share, and I'm sure it's the same for the other guys as well. And we had a limited amount of time, but we would love to hear your insight. Like, how would you advise people to navigate the news successfully? How can we transition well and successfully? So we'd love to hear your comments. So do feel free to comment on this video, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. Do like and share this video as well. And thanks for joining us. It's been great fun. Any final words from you, Paul and Wynell, or Laura?
I just want to say, stay positive, you know, keep looking up, just enjoy it.
Yeah, stay focused.
Brilliant.
Great.
Okay. Well, thanks ever so much for joining us, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. God bless, and we will see you same time, same place next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
God bless you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.